Hello there everybody and welcome to the Church of St Mary in Warmington.
Don't tell 'em, Pike.
Now this is an extremely interesting ashlar-faced spire because according to Pesner it looks from a distance like it's covered in warts. I see what he means, they do tend to stick out a little bit. The church was built between the years 1180 and 1280, so within that century period. It's got 3 tiers, the tower here, and you can see the early references in the almost Saxon-like round work on the tower. Here's a quadrifoil window, and below it a round-headed lancet window. I found this church rather interesting in that I believe there's an open space above both the north and the south aisle. I'll tell you about that in a moment or two. Here you can see that the church had to be buttressed with the stairwell walking up the north aisle into this huge belfry for a parish church. Below, the customary clock, and then this niche where possibly the patron saint would have been exhibited. Down below, heavily dog-toothed on 4 columns, is this west door. You can see the line of the old church there against the clock. To go with this west door, in the 13th century, there were added 2 porches on the north and the south side. Here you can see the northern porch, and there is a little wooden door that gains access to the top of the northern aisle. Now, if you look at the clerestory at the top there, in between there are small circular lights. But when you go into the church, those lights are not evident, only the clerestory ones. It's as if there is a recess above the ceiling, and that window there, between the chancel and the nave, it's duplicated on the other side of the chancel arch, but then again, it's not visible from inside the church. There it is. So, what is going on in this void above the nave? Ah yes, the crocuses were out, and here we have a glorious southern porch. Inside it is vaulted and was restored in the 18th century. Notice the beautiful dog tooth around the outside edge. And then inside we have some very handsome blank arcading, both on the right hand side and on the left there. Inside you can see this lovely wooden vaulted 13th century roof to the nave and the arcades on either side. The clerestory there is again from the 13th century with two lights. As you can see, the ceilings of the naves are slightly lower, and you can also see where the clerestory lights are, but those smaller, rounder ones are not visible on the inside. Nor are those two rounded octagonal cusped lights between the chancel arch and the nave. Here on the southern aisle is a tomb recess. As you can see, much of the interior may benefit from a little more whitewashing. In the southern chapel, we have a small piscina there on the right-hand side, and a stoop which is in the form of a bowl on a pedestal down on the left-hand side. There it is. Now, the rood screen is something else to behold. The lower part is probably from the Perpendicular period, and the upper section, as the camera moves in, is in exactly the same reticulated fashion, and yet this is from the restoration during the Victorian period. But no matter, it has been done in such an articulate and intricate manner. This pulpit was made in the 1400s and was most probably restored when the main part of the rood screen was undertaken in the Victorian times. Here are two beautiful little angels carrying the insignia of Hallelujah as they welcome into the chancel. As you can see, the altar is a very simple affair with a pair of candles and a cross. There's the bier for a coffin. And a staircase to the original rood loft. Here is a very big plain tomb chest from about 1500. And on the wall here is a hanging monument to the memory of Thomas Elmes from 1664. It has a Latin inscription surrounded by an oval wreath and columns to the left and right. The font gives its date away quite clearly here, 1662. Thank you for watching this short film of St. Mary's Church in Warmington, not upon sea.